Good morning. So it's 6 o'clock, 7 minutes, and everything is totally cloudy. But it's not a heavy cloud, it's just like we should have a good view, hopefully. It's good. We could do paragliding here. So we're gonna ascend to... So it's 7 o'clock, 7 minutes, and we're just leaving the refugio, and we should ascend around 1,200 meters up and reach the Tungurahua in about 5 hours or 6 hours. We're just taking a cloud off, and we're pretty much above the clouds here. So our guide forgot the harnesses. I was actually mad down there because he didn't check our equipment. So now it feels like we're taking him for a tour, not he's taking us. That's what happens when you take 22-year-old boy as a tourist guide. For now we didn't need him at all. We'll see how it is up there. Well, he forgot the equipment, so for now it feels like we threw our money in the fucking air. We have no view as I expected. At least we're not getting rained on. So we should have gotten yesterday up here. We should have started Wednesday, but we had to wait for this guide because he was stuck in the office. This little house here, and the vegetation changed. We don't have any more things. I think this was just a lava flow thing through here. So I have to wait for our guide here and keep going. So it's 7:42 right now. It seems like it's a little bit clearing up, but not that much. And we're still waiting for the guide. Here and back down for the harnesses. Totally irresponsible. So just for all of you know, just because you get a guide doesn't mean that it's gonna be worth it. Even though you pay lots of money for it. So after the checkpoint station with the gate, it got really steep and it was like a black ash from the volcano. So it was really slippery, and the guide just gave us one climbing axe, and that was it. If we didn't have our climbing sticks or like hiking sticks, it would be almost impossible to get up, and he didn't care about it at all. He just kept going by himself. We were not using any rope, nothing. So progressing really slowly here, sleeping all the time, and the path was clearly visible, so we didn't need him for anything here. It was totally useless.
We don't go.
So we just stopped for a little drink break.
Yes.
We're gonna continue. So what is the meaning of Tungurahua?
It's Garganta de Fuego. In English, it's like a fire throw. Yeah. That's in a Quechua word. Very indigenous from Ecuador.
Nice.
Yes.
Good to know. Because it's a lot of eruptions, yeah?
Yes, this volcano was active from 1999. Yes.
The last eruption was like 2016.
Yes, yeah, 1 year and a half ago, it was smoke in the volcano.
Smoke.
Yes, and then from there, it's cold until today. So that's why he's able to climb it now.
8:55 and got really cloudy again. The ground got better, not so slippery. I guess because it's more cold and it's frozen. So yeah, we're more up, and then we should finish the marked path, and then we need a guide. Almost 9:30. We're in a total fog right here. The best weather we could ever ask for. So it got really foggy and really cold and even windy. I couldn't even see Sanya, she was just a few meters behind me. So this weather was really miserable, and we're a little bit angry because just the day before was really nice weather, clear. You could see Tungurahua from Baños, and that's when we should have gone. So at this point it's pretty hard to breathe. We have to stop every few minutes to catch a breath and acclimatize. It's cold, so also if you stop too much, you're gonna be cold. But I think we're getting up somewhere. It's almost 10 o'clock and we got to a more steeper part with the rocks here. I think you can go both ways. Ask our guide where you can go. So now we got to a really steep area with a volcanic ash. It was really slippery and there are these big rocks falling down all the time. So it's pretty sketchy because you could hit the person behind you. And our guy was far behind because his knee was hurting or something. So I thought we're gonna use the equipment, like tie ourselves with the rope and harnesses. But no, so we basically just paid to go here by ourselves. So it's 10 o'clock, 3 minutes. How do you feel?
Tired.
So I asked the guide why are we not using any of the equipment when the part was really steep and slippery, and he said the crampons are for the snow, and I asked if it's gonna get harder, and he said no, this is the hardest part. So I asked why are we not using any of the equipment, and then he got mad and gave me the crampons, which were like really bad, like from a Second World War. So he didn't even plan to use the equipment. It was just to make us feel like we are in a professional care or something. We got to another station. There is some solar charger. Not sure what is this for. And I don't think we have much more to the crater. I'm gonna take a little break here and put on some more clothes as well. That's the top?
Behind that rock is the top.
Yeah, I think I see it. Wow, now we got a good view. Baños down here. Oh. Well, we are around 4,700, 800 meters. Never been so high in our lives. Feel pretty good for now. But last time I felt bad down the hill, so we'll see how it goes this time. We got a window here with no clouds, which is good. But I think more clouds are gathering from the left. Oh, we have this massive clouds coming up. And it started raining a little bit with like snowing almost. Oh, it's snowing definitely. We got a first snow over here. Oh, really slow. And you have no view anymore again. Sometimes when there's the window you have to record. Like a dizzy? Yeah.
Not dizzy because I'm just dizzy because I'm weak because I didn't eat. It's too much.
So here the path got really steep, like it was almost like a scrambling, and I told John again to use some of the equipment like a rope and harnesses, and he refused, and I said like, why did you bring the equipment then? And then he got angry and mad at me again, and I just pulled out the rope and started pulling us up one by one. So really very irresponsible. He didn't plan to use any of this equipment, and only after I asked him to use it he got mad, and then he started using it. So otherwise we could have done it by ourselves, but at least he used it here. So Sanya started to feel a little bit dizzy and weaker, mainly because she didn't have time to eat in the morning, because we woke up too late. He didn't wake us up and we had to hurry up, so we didn't even have time to have snacks, and only because he's a responsible guide. So I don't know if he released the rock on purpose, but it definitely seemed like it. And there were no safety precautions, so you think for the $360 you would get some safety, but no, just go, go, go. So we're almost at the crater of the volcano, and maybe like 3 minutes away, and we stumbled upon these lava rocks, and they're actually really hot. So there was like a steam coming out of them, and if you touch them you could actually burn yourself. So this is a good thing if you're cold, to warm up your hands, and it's a great phenomenon. But Sanya got here first and she got scared that the volcano is erupting or something. But then John told us that this is always here, and these rocks are always hot. It's 5 minutes to the top of the... This is so cool, man. Never seen this before. Like a hot water coming out of here. Hot rock. So here we finally got to the crater. It's around 4,800 meters, and it took us around 4.5 hours. So we started around 7 and we got here like 11:30. So far I didn't have any problems with the altitude, no headache, and Sanya started to feel a little bit better as well. Top is over there. We have about half more hour till there. And this is the crater. It's insane. Oh no! Woo! So it's erupting from here?
Yeah. Usually it was from here. And then can you see that water? All the lava is coming out from that place.
From there?
That's why the refuge was good without rocks, without
Yeah.
because all the lava is coming down in that way. This way nothing happens.
So everything is good.
So Tungurahua is still an active volcano, and last time it erupted was I think 2016, and they had a few other big eruptions. But the seismologists, they can predict kind of when it erupts. I think there's like a little earthquake and more steam coming out, things like that. So you should not be worried climbing Tungurahua. So here is the steam or the smoke coming out from the rocks. It's really fascinating to see that. And here is a cross from somebody that died here, so the conditions can get pretty rough here and can get really dangerous. So we are about to ascend. We have such a good weather here, and it's much warmer here as well. So we have about half more hour, 45 minutes till the top. Now we have a long descent.
Oh God,
So we had a small lunch break before heading up to the top, which is maybe 150 more meters. So the top is around 5,000 meters, and it takes about half an hour to get there. Haven't seen snow in 3 months. 3 years. So here you can see more snow, and sometimes there is even more snow, but this is really unusual Tungurahua because the snow melts because of the volcanic activity. So at this height you would usually find much more snow, like at other peaks in Ecuador. Alright, we're very close to the summit. Not far. Maybe 10 more minutes. Woo! Our things down there. See them down? And this is the top. The top? Woo! Mama Tungurahua. Made it.
Well done, my friend.
Oh shit, so steep.
Amazing, my friend. Good.
Can descend like this also?
No, my friend, be careful.
So we are at the 5,016 meters. Made it. First time in our lives. Over 5,000. A little bit of headache already. We're gonna descend, right?
Yes. Well, after this we are going to get some rest and then all the way down.
So this is the other side of Tungurahua, which we haven't seen until we got to the top. And if you kept going down, you would get to Riobamba. But I guess that side is too steep to descend, and here is a 360 view around one more time before we descend. And on a clear day you could see peaks like Chimborazo, Cotopaxi and Altar around, but today was quite cloudy. Okay, we're ready for a descent. We have to descend a lot. Are we gonna make it on time? What's the time?
Now we are 1:30.
That's enough time. We will be at Refugio in 3 hours.
I don't know. Let's see if we can get there at 3:30.
Yeah. It's pretty warm up here, around 15 to 20 degrees. I don't know, not sure why down there was much colder. Because maybe the clouds are gathering. Okay, let's descend now. Should take around 3 hours to Refugio. Mistake that we did on Rucupichincha was that we ran down, and I see this guy wants to run down already, and we're not gonna let that happen. We're gonna take it slowly. That's it. Bye bye Tungurahua. Happy descent. Alright, so it's almost 2 o'clock and we're back at the crater. So we're gonna take our things and prepare for descent, which will take around 3 hours. And then another... Oh, I'm not gonna make that. It's amazing. Top of volcano. one more time the volcano. Wow. So cool. Okay, bye bye Tungurahua. It was nice to be here. So after a short break, we didn't even have time to eat much. Sanya just rested a little bit, and it was before 2 o'clock we started the descent, but the guy didn't even wait for us. He just started running down. So it was basically just me and Sanya descending together, and he was watching us from like 100 meters down. These rocks are so hot. My shoes are already burning. Oh, it's everywhere. So there. So here is irresponsible John running down. He doesn't care how we're gonna descend. So this part was really steep and he didn't care how we're gonna descend. He always just waited for us like a few hundred meters after and looked up if we were okay. But if we were to slip, we would probably fall all the way down and even hurt ourselves or die. So here is John finally helping Sanya, but only after I told him. So the path was really dangerous and slippery, and I told him that we didn't pay for him just watch us from 100 meters below us. And then he pulled out a rope and we started descending like this, but I'm sure this is not the correct way and it's even dangerous to do it. He should have used the harnesses, but I'm sure he doesn't know how to use it at all. So here you can see how John has no idea how to descend down with people. He's so inexperienced. So he should be going after Sanya so he can monitor how she's going down. But he was going first, so if she fell down, they would just both fall down. So irresponsible. And we're descending another way here. So different way than we got up. And it's more ash. But it was pretty easy to get down if you had a rope and some security. But if it was up to John, he would just run down by himself and let us suffer together. So here we are, all got onto holding a rope. So I'm at the back, and pretty much if Sanya slipped, I can still hold on to her. So this is really steep. Camera can never capture how steep it is in real life. And if you just slip, you're going down a lot, you'll just fall all the way down there. So it's really sketchy here, but we are progressing faster when we are all hanging on to the rope. However, this fast descent has also some disadvantages, and the main one is that you're gonna get a headache from the altitude pressure. So if you're descending too fast, like I did on Uku Pichincha, where it was a similar sand, and you can really go fast, you're gonna get a headache, which I started experiencing here as well, and Sanya also. And another disadvantage on going on steep sandy path like this is that you can release the big rocks, like Sanya released here, and there is no way it's gonna stop. It's just so steep, and if the people are down there, it can hit them in the head and they can die easily. So this could be especially dangerous at night where you can't see anything. So I don't know how these night ascents are so good, because if people are on top, you're not gonna see a rock coming down and it could potentially hit someone. So John wanted to go to start the hike at 2 a.m. but I was like, no, it's too dangerous, like we never hiked at night. So I convinced him to go in the morning, which was a better idea, but we should have started at 5 a.m. and not at 7. The refugio is the red roof over there. So about half an hour, it's Baños. And this is the Casa de Arbol and those villages there. Cool. So you can see the valley that goes from Baños all the way to city of Ambato, which is at the end of this valley. So here you can see Sanya is in the pain because we're descending the same steep part as we were ascending at the beginning. So it's really steep, so many rocks, really dangerous. And John didn't tie us up on the rope this time, but he was just waiting down there. So the red person you can see here, and he didn't care at all. So I started shouting at him and got in a big argument, and only then he tied up Sanya on the rope. So just because you get a guide doesn't mean that he's gonna be responsible and that you're gonna be safe. So always ask what are the guide's experiences and stuff. So in this case we got really ripped off and got a responsible guide who didn't care. So it's almost 5 o'clock and it took us around 3 hours to get from the crater as I expected. So it's not 2 hours like John said. Man, good luck on the way up, yeah?
Yeah, thank you. Did you have good weather up?
We got bad weather in the morning, but then it cleared up a little bit on the top, yeah.
At the top, it's so better.
Yeah, it was like 20 degrees on the top.
Okay.
And there's like a hot rocks. Yeah, it was funny. Like how do you call it? Stream?
What's some like hot, how do you say?
Lava or something?
Yeah.
It's not lava, but like a spring something.
Okay. Okay, nice.
Something
Yeah.
like this, but hot.
Like a steam coming up, but it's hot, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully make it. Okay, see you, man.
Where the path is like muddy.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
be-
Yeah, we're gonna be careful, yeah. Alright, cheers. So here we are descending from Refugio and around 5 p.m. and John stayed longer to wash dishes. So we got 1,000 more meters descent till the entrance where the trail begins. So we never did so much elevation descent in our lives. So this was around 2,200 meters elevation total from the top of Tungurahua. And we did maybe 1,000 meters down. So this was really tough for our knees. Even I was feeling it. And especially Sanya was never used to hiking so much. So it's just gonna get worse for her knees. So if I was to do Tungurahua again, I would definitely sleep in a Refugio one more night and not push those 1,000 more meters all the way down. So till now it was more mentally draining to argue with John the guide about his responsibility, and I really hate arguing with people. so that was more draining than the physical work. And for Sanya it was also hard physically and mentally. So if we got a better guide, or if we went by ourselves, it would have been much better. So at around 6 p.m. it's starting to get dark, and John caught up with us and went with us for maybe half an hour. And then when it got dark, he saw that Sanya's pace just slowed down so much more. So he just took off, and we never saw him again until the gates where the car was waiting for us. And we're not even sure if the car would be waiting for us there. So he just didn't care. And Sanya was in such a pain that she was even crying, and this guy just didn't care. I was shouting and he was nowhere to be seen. So Sanya said that this was the worst experience and the worst pain in her life. You can see how slowly she was descending, and she thought she's not gonna make it. So we have a last 230 meters, 270 meters down. Sanya knee hurts, she's just pushing through. My head hurts as well, so if I was to do it again, I would sleep in refugio, not to descend all this way. It's too much. Take it slowly and easy. You're almost there. Good girl. Good job. So we made it to the car, but very miserable. And I think it would have been better without a guide. You would take better decisions and would be in less pain. I was even crying when we got down. And this guy, John, would just leave you there to die. So if I were to go again, I would not choose to go with a guide. I would take better decisions by myself, and we would not be in such a pain. We would sleep in refugio, and we didn't even get any help from this guy, only when I asked. So I just want to give a few closing thoughts on this Tungurahua adventure. So it was a great adventure, and I was thinking it's gonna be, but I would never ever think that we're gonna get such a bad guide who didn't care, and he was so irresponsible, inexperienced. He just took the money, and I thought that people like this don't really exist in they would just leave you there, especially if you pay them so much money. So we paid $360, and this guy John from MTS Adventure in Baños, he just didn't care, and I just lost the hope for humanity once again, that not only people don't care about animals, but these guys don't even care about other people. And we noticed this so many times in South America, how people just don't care about each other. They just overtake in a queue, in a shop, wherever you're waiting. There's so much criminality, and I think these countries, until they realize that they need respect for each other, I think their destiny is going down, and that's why you have such a bad reputation. South America is just a country of criminals and thieves and scammers, basically. So John was definitely one of these scammers, really fake personality, like smiling. He deceived us that he's this friendly guy, this young friendly guy. We thought we're gonna chat with him, but instead he turned out to be a really fake coward. He didn't want to help us. We're in such a pain there. Sanya was crying. I was getting desperate as well. I didn't know how to help her anymore. And this guy just ran down. And then he was lying to us that his knee was hurting, which in fact, he got there like 20 minutes, half an hour earlier than us. And such a coward, and I'm sure most of these Ecuadorians, not most, but like lots of these Ecuadorians are like this, as we knew from experience. So just want to say, be careful who you take as a guide, especially someone who you don't know much. So yeah, but yeah, if you want to go up Tungurahua, I would make it much safer for you if you're interested, or some of the other hills or activities in Ecuador. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and as always, stay healthy and stay adventurous.